Good afternoon, music world. John here from What's Spinning. List week is raging on over here, and tonight I'm going to be chatting about my top 50 singles of the year, which was a pretty huge undertaking over here because there's just been a lot of freaking great music that's been out this year. If you missed it over the last 2 days, I did chat about my top 10 least favorite records of the year, as well as my top 5 EPs. Go back and check them out if you haven't already. But for right now, I'm going to be chatting about my top 50 singles of the year, but I want to kick things off with a few honorable mentions first. Want to quickly shout out the re-recorded Going Steady from Death from Above 1979. I really did enjoy the reworks that they did for the anniversary of You're a Woman, I'm a Machine, and this one was just on every workout playlist I pumped this year. It is great. Also want to shout out Dua Lipa's Illusion. While I personally was unbelievably disappointed with just how shoddy her new record is, this one's a good one. As a matter of fact, I really love the 80s tinge production in this big freaking hook. Also want to shout out Ingo Swann from Flying Lotus, one of the smoothest and just coolest and sleekest sounding cuts the man has dropped in years. Really did love that EP as well. Also want to shout out Caribou's Come Find Me, which was easily the most amped track on his new record. Really do love the way this track builds over time and just explodes towards the end of it. And finally, want to give a shout out in my honorable mentions to FKA Twigs, Eusexua. I mean, this is, to me, just a great sound for her. The production, the sort of poppy undertones, but still, this is definitely an FKA Twigs track. Can't wait to hear her new record. Now, I'm going to get into my top 50 singles now. I've limited it to one per artist as always. And also, as always, this is all just opinion. So let's just have some fun. At number 50, gonna start things off with Fontaines DC. Starburster is a track that I didn't know even how to process at first, but it has been everywhere this year. I mean, it certainly has taken the band to the next level. It is unbelievably infectious as well. And Graham Chatton on this track absolutely owns his verse. At number 49, I'm going to put the lead single from the new Harakiri for the Sky record, dropping in a few weeks with Autumn I'll Surrender. It is a pummeling, massive, explosive, emotional black metal cut. At number 48, I am going to put Hazel English with Jessie. I mean, I still haven't heard a project from her yet that I think is great from start to finish, but this is one of the loveliest and full of love dream pop tracks I've heard all year. And at number 47, I'm going to put Schoolboy Q with Yearn 101. I mean, honestly, this is one of the most amped rap singles I've heard this year. And if you heard my review, I've not exactly been the biggest fan of Schoolboy Q's discography over the last couple of years. I was into his earlier stuff, but this single is nasty, it is raw, it is just short, but honestly, it is all killer, no filler. At number 46, going to put Monaco from Ride's Interplay, one of the more ambitious tracks on this new record. It is just a great modern shoegaze sound, and it's great to hear the band playing with some serious heart and dedication. The album's pretty damn good too. And at number 45, one from the new Jamie XX album. This could have gone a lot of ways, but the single that I keep coming back to the most is Life, featuring Robin. I just love how triumphant and flashy and colorful it is. At number 44, I'm going to put Love Me Not from Miss Raven Lenae's new album, Bird's Eye. I mean, this is just such a sweet, bubbly, and just soulful cut that is easily one of the best tracks on her new record, even though that track with Childish Gambino almost made this spot instead. Really good one as well. At number 43, I'm going to put the album closer to the new Mets record, Light Your Way Home. It is just this very epic, slow, exhausted sort of noise rock and shoegaze track with some really great dual vocals. It definitely does send the band off as this may just be their last album for a while. And at 42, I'm going to put Loved from the new Fortet record. I mean, hearing this track leading up to the album, I mean, it amped me up to no extent. It's so sleek. It's so groovy. It's just such a really cool down-tempo track that really does highlight Kieran's incredible musical palette. And at 41, I'm going to put Crybaby from Cults. I mean, this is one of the sweetest tracks that I've heard from them in years. If they did more cuts to this extent, I feel like they would be in a much better place right now. It's the great balance between bubbly and sad and poppy. At number 40, I'm going to put Sexy to Someone from Clairo. This was easily the cut that inspired me to check out her new album, and I'm glad that I did because it's a really lovely little blend of soft rock and singer-songwriter material. If you haven't listened to it yet, it's very decent. At number 39, it's Touche Amore with Nobody's easily the most explosive and raw cut on their new record. And at number 38, it's A$AP Rocky featuring Jessica Pratt with Hijack. I mean, this is easily one of the most interesting and genuinely experimental things that Rocky has done in years. But where is the album? Yeah, really great single, though. At number 36, non-album cut from her, but it is going to be Caroline Polachek featuring Wise Blood with Butterfly Net. It's just so formless. It's just so unique. And I mean, what a powerhouse duo here between two of the most interesting names in art pop right now. Number 6, gonna put one from the new MJ Lenderman album. It's She's Leaving You. I mean, I've just fallen in love with the lyrical palette of this record. I do enjoy the slacker sound as well, and this track has just been on almost all of my playlists that I've made over the last few months. There's something really hypnotic about it. And at number 35, definitely not for everybody, but I'm going to put The Body and Disfig with Descent, Shame. I mean, the album itself is not for everybody. It's kind of a feast for the weirdos in music out there, but this is easily the easiest to stomach track on this entire record. Dare I say it's even a little melodic at points. At number 34, I'm going to put The Cure's Alone. This track, I mean, I heard it live about a year ago when I saw them in Chicago, and it blew my mind then. And the studio version that we finally got is just the perfect intro to their new record. And if it really is their final record, they've certainly done good by it. At number 33, one from the new Washed Out record, it's Waking Up. I mean, everything about this cut, to me, brought me back to Ernest's heyday years ago, which was a very big part of my musical journey growing up. And at number 32, it's one from the new Idols record. Yeah, it's gonna be Dancer featuring LCD Sound System. I mean, I've kind of cooled my jets on the album since it came out, but this is one of the most explosive and just fist in the air punk tunes that I've heard this year. It is just so unbearably memorable. At number 31, it's Cheerleader by Porter Robinson. This was the one single track that I heard from this new record that said, I need to get to this as soon as possible. It is just such a caffeinated blast of color and explosive synths, and there's just something so carefree about this track that I can't say no to. And at number 30, I wasn't immune to it either. I actually think it's one of the best cuts that she has dropped in years. I'm gonna put Tinashe's Nasty. At number 29, I'm gonna put Glasgow by Pale Waves. I think that this is just another example of what they can do with singles. I mean, they are unstoppable. Every time they drop a record, there's that one single that I'm just addicted to, and that's what this is. It is just so explosive and full of life. Every time this chorus rolls around, I just want to scream it. And at number 28, one of the best metal singles that I heard this year, by far, it would be Gatecreeper, Caught in the Treads. I mean, Gatecreeper continued to be one of my favorite things in modern metal, and every time they drop an album, I end up liking it at first and loving it more as the year goes on, and that's what happened here. And this track absolutely freaking rips. At number 27, I'm going to put Non-Metaphorical Decolonization from the new Mount Eerie record. I mean, this thing is just so good. It's the most microphone sounding single that Phil has dropped since the days of the microphones. And it just sounds great because it does salute so many different sounds that he's worked with. And at number 26, it would be the emotional closer to the new Chelsea Wolfe record, Dusk, which is easily my favorite cut there. I mean, it was the single that I initially loved the most, and I just love her performance on this track and just how hazy and lost it sounds. It's very Abyss era Chelsea Wolfe. Now that leads me to my top 25. Gonna slow things down just a little bit. At number 25, one of the best indie singles that I heard all year. It was just one that I enjoyed at first, and it has grown on me just about with each passing month. It would be Boom Boom Back. It's Heinz featuring Beck. I mean, everything about this track just works so well. It is just so bubbly and carefree and cute when it needs to be, but it also packs a little punch. Beck doesn't sound like an awkward weirdo in 2024, which is a blessing. I just think it's one of the most memorable indie cuts that we've heard all year. At number 24, the Lemon Twigs activated a damn cheat code on me and brought back the sounds of the sunny 60s with My Golden Years, and I am just completely not immune to this track at all. I mean, it is just so light and sweet. I cannot be in a bad mood when this track is on. It's also just such a testament to just how far the band has come as far as songwriting goes. It's easily one of the best singles that they've ever put out. Oh, at number 23, this is a good one. It would be Denzel Curry featuring That Mexican OT with that Black Flag freestyle. This is easily one of the most hyped rap cuts that I have heard all year, and it's not even close. I mean, everything about this track works. The beat is just so slick and intense and booming. Denzel sounds like a damn wizard, and That Mexican OT's verse on this track is one of the best features I've heard on a single this year. It is hyped as hell. It is explosive. It is raw. It is great. At number 22, gonna put Walk On By from No Worries featuring Ray Khalil and Earl Sweatshirt. This track has just been on just about every playlist that I've made this year. It is one of the most impressively soulful cuts on their new record, and there were quite a bit of those. I thought the record was really good, but something about this cut just gives me the damn chills, the sense of finality to it, the emotional performance by Anderson .Paak, Earl's verse, which is also really good. Everything about this track just works and is a true testament to what No Worries can do. At number 21, I'm going to put Speyside from the new Bon Iver EP. I mean, ever since this single dropped, I have just been addicted to it. I mean, it dropped right on time for fall around here on the island, and honestly, like, everything about this track just warms my bones and brings me back to a simpler time. I mean, I haven't necessarily hated Justin's work since he went a little bit more electronic, but hearing this right now and hearing it come off so well is absolutely amazing. Oh, it's just so good. And it makes me so happy to hear Justin back in this sound and doing it so well. Really heartfelt, too. We've reached the top 20, my friends. And at number 20, it's one from the new Waxahachie record, a track that I've just listened to more and more and more. It's Right Back to It, featuring MJ Lenderman. Everything about this track just really works for me. I mean, I just love how sunny it is and just how bright it is and full of hope it is. Katie's vocals on this track are fantastic, and MJ Lenderman picks up one of the best features of the year. He sounds great on this chorus. Everything about this track just makes me feel good inside. At number 19, I mean, I kind of called it in my review for this record. Yeah, this record kind of sucked and was really underwhelming, but this single is everything that made the band great back in the day, and that would be one from the new Japandroids record, All Bets Are Off. Like I said, a lot of this record just comes off kind of exhausted and just not nearly as invigorating as their glory days. But this track here, it is just perfect for what I look for in rock music. It is heartfelt. It is anthemic. It's got a big, explosive chorus that just really takes off. As a matter of fact, this whole track takes off. I love the production. I love the synths floating through the background and that youthful sense of what made Japandroids sound so great back in the day. It's all here. It's one of the best rock singles I've heard all year. At number 18, another track that I've just been not able to escape the last few months, and that would be Kevin from the new Toro y Moi album featuring Kevin Abstract. It just, everything about this track, it just makes me happy, honestly. I mean, not only is it just a really solid alternative R&B single, it works all around. Chaz's vocals are some of his better sung vocals on the Whole Earth record. Kevin Abstract does a really great job in Lev as well on features. And also, the Broken Social Scene interpolation has just been playing in my head non-stop since this single dropped. Something about this cut is just too adorable to pass up for me. At number 17, gonna put King of Sweden from the new Future Islands record. Just really solid synth pop anthem from one of the best that can put out synth pop anthems. And after just how sleepy their last few records have been, hearing a single like this, oh, is it good. I just love the energy here. I love Sam's performance. I love this hook, especially the synth work on this hook. Everything about this track just invigorates me, makes me just want to get out and go for a run or something. It is just so passionate and full of heart and very Future Islands. At number 16, gonna put Sick Sweet from the new Wishy record. I mean, this band really did knock their debut out of the park. It's probably my favorite debut album of the year. Now, their sound, it's not exactly the newest or flashiest sound. They do play classic indie and shoegaze blended together in a very nostalgic way, but they do it with so much passion and energy and catchy hooks that I could not say no if I needed to. It's one of the most likable indie singles that I've heard this year. And at number 15, I'm going to put one from the new Spirit of the Beehive record, and I went with Let the Virgin Drive, just because I feel like this is the single that I've come back to the most, and more importantly, it does sum up a lot of the band's sound. We get a very, sort of laid back, sort of airy, dreamy passage, but these also very hellish, very intense, and very visceral passages that are really intense. Everything about this track just sums up everything I love about Spirit of the Beehive. And at number 14, one of the rap singles that I've listened to the most this year would be from the new Joey Valence and Bray record, No Hands, and I went with John Cena, not because I'm a lifelong wrestling fan, but I do believe that this is one of the most quotable tracks on their new record. I absolutely love the beat to this thing. It's just very futuristic and weird and different sounding, but also the duo's personality is not any stronger on this track than it is on the rest of this record. It is absolutely awesome. At number 13, I did not expect to love this single as much as I did, but here we are. It's one from the new Foxing record. It would be the 8-minute epic that is Greyhound, which is one of the most interesting leaps that I've seen from a band in a while. I mean, I have had my issues with Foxing in the past. I've never really enjoyed a Foxing record, but then this track came out and it's so textured. The production is so crisp and different sounding. Everything about this cut is where they should have been years ago. It's one of the best art rock singles that I've heard all year. It is absolutely hypnotizing. At number 12, gonna put probably my favorite punk track that I've heard this year. It would be one from the new Show Me the Body record, the Corpus 2 project, and I went with Stomach with High Vis. I mean, everything about this track is just so blood pumping, intense. The riff is just so, oh my God, in your face. And the feature from High Vis is awesome. If you haven't, go check their stuff out as well. And Show Me the Body just sound at their most dangerous on this cut. Awesome stuff. And at number 11, probably the indie single that I've listened to the most this year, which is shocking, but not too shocking because it's one from the new Soccer Mommy record, Evergreen. Yeah, I went with Driver here. Yeah, it's certainly not her best project. I've heard Sophie put out much more interesting and consistent material in the past, but just everything about, the urgency of this track, the sort of gruff riff that we get, and her angelic performance. It's very 90s, it's very Soccer Mommy, and it's this indie single that I've listened to the most this year. All right, we're in top 10 territory, and at number 10, sue me, I loved it as well. Gonna put Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso here. It's so infectious. It's so sunny and colorful and fun and flirty and sassy and about 10 other things, and I just can't seem to get it out of my head, especially that damn synth line. And yeah, no, the album's certainly not perfect, far from it, but if Sabrina's gonna stay on this track, I mean, she's about to take over. as if she already hasn't. At number 9, one of the best ballads that I heard this year, it would be Dancing in Babylon from MGMT and Christine and the Queens. I mean, this track, everything about it, from the 80s tinged production to the incredible synth lines to the vocal performances from both artists. This is just such a mature and just greatly performed ballad that is just so full of heart and just really shows MGMT continuing to progress. At number 8, one of the better punk records this year. However, this isn't exactly a punk tune. It would be one from the new Amyl and the Sniffers record, and I went with Big Dreams. This is almost like their attempt at like a big southern ballad, but man, is it epic. I mean, this track, it's a slow burner. It does build, but oh my lord, does it ever build. I mean, this thing just sounds epic and heartfelt, and I just love the progression here. I love the production, and I love this hook. Every time it rolls around, I just want to belt it out. Yeah, it's not exactly the most intense track from them or the sweatiest, but man, is it ever addictive. At number 7, gotta put one from the new Magdalena Bay record. I mean, Image got me on the dance floor more than any other cut this year. I mean, every single time this chorus rolls around, I mean, look out, I'm gonna start grooving. I mean, this thing is just so colorful. The production is just so interesting. This hook is absolutely massive. Really love the video as well. And at number 6, the rock single that I think I've listened to the most this year, unexpectedly, because initially I couldn't stand the damn thing, but it's probably one of my most listened to tracks of any genre this year. It's going to be King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard with Le Risque. I mean, in 2024, the band's putting out some genuine boogie woogie and doing it so much justice. Everything from the guitar work to the group vocals to just how fun and free this track comes off is nothing short of a testament to the band. At number 5, gonna put one from the new Vampire Weekend album, Only God Was Above Us. This could have gone a few different ways as well. I was debating on Capricorn or Gen X Cops, but initially I went with Mary Boone and I stuck with it. This is just a lovely little piece of Baroque pop. The production on tracks like this is a major reason why this record works so well. I mean, it sounds so good. It's hypnotic. It is surreal. It is hazy and dreamy. And it is the band putting out the material that I love to hear from them. Really do love the harmonies on this track as well, and the group choir that comes in towards the end. At number 4, the art punk single that really did just fill in all the gaps for me this year. That would be Dream Job from Yard Act. I don't care that it came out late in 2023. The album dropped this year and I've been bumping it nonstop. This is one of the most creative and addictive tracks that I've heard all this year. I love the call and response chorus. I love just how paranoid this track sounds. And the vocal performance that we get from James Smith is just one of the most personality filled that I've heard all years. It's bitingly hilarious, but it is also unbearably catchy. At number 3, Pumpin' Iron track of the year. It's one from the new Knocked Loose record, which I personally could not get enough of. And I went with Don't Reach For Me. Yes, Suffocate is great, but everything about Don't Reach For Me, at least for my style, is a lot better. The guitar work on this track is absolutely ridiculous. Also, the production on this track is nuts. It sounds so suffocating and brutal and heavy and disgusting. I mean, everything about this track is just what I love about the band. As far as noisier rock singles this year, there was no other for me. And at number 2, hey, I don't know about y'all, but I had a brat summer, and I'm putting Apple at number 2 because, my God, I could not get enough of this damn cut, nor could anybody that I live with or hang out with, because I've been playing it that non-stop. It's cute, it's sweet, I love her lyrics here. This hook is just absolutely just an earworm, if anything, and it's easily one of the best pop tracks that I've heard in the last few years. Which leads me to my number 1 single, which has probably been on every playlist that I've made this year. I was hyped about it since I first heard it drop, and it's the single that I've listened to the most this year, and that would be Miss Jessica Pratt. That's right, I'm going with the Life Is single. I mean, this track touched me like no other this year. I've been a fan of Jessica's music for years, but her blend of just classic singer-songwriter tropes, the sort of hazy psychedelic production, and her incredibly sweet vocal and lyrical performance gave me hope this year. It warmed my bones. It filled my heart with a sense of love and adventure, and it is just easily the track that I come back to the most this year. It's beautiful, it's hypnotic, it is surreal, and it is pretty life-changing, at least for me. It is incredible and my favorite single of the year. I'm gonna be putting these into a playlist for y'all. Don't worry, if you're interested, it'll be linked down below. And also down below, let me know what some of your favorite singles of the year were. As always, leave a comment, subscribe, and hope y'all enjoyed, and tune in tomorrow for my top 20 albums of the year. You're not gonna want to miss it.